The Frozen North, Episode 42, our top 5 video game publishers.
Hello and welcome to episode number 42 of The Frozen North. We are a podcast and we are here to talk about story-focused video games, RPGs, adventures, you name it, we like it. My name is JJ and I'm here with my two friends, Mark.
My name is Douglas Adams. Howdy, y'all.
And Brian.
And it's Matt still. I'm Matt, guys.
Is that what Matt sounds like?
Matt did my impression last time.
He did admit to being a girl last time.
Oh, I am Brian, back. Back. Brian is here.
Back.
I am male and not a girl, even though there's nothing wrong with that.
Just keep backpedaling.
Politically correctness. But I feel like
mistake.
I feel like Newton's law affects gender as well.
I don't see
Which-
what gender has to do with cookies.
Which
Things
Newton's
in
law?
motion stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside
Isaac
force.
Newton.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant like Big Newtons.
So, what you are, the state that you are, is what you want to remain. It's a physics thing.
what?
Huh? Wait,
Brian,
whoa.
Brian knows all about
You're
physics.
saying that
No.
you felt that it was necessary to say that because you're a man, it's more likely that you will remain a man.
No,
than
it's
someone
more
who's
likely
not a
that I
man?
want to remain a man.
You guys remember that part where I said we're here to talk about story-focused
Yeah, we
video
really
games?
went way off topic. I apologize.
That's cool.
My apologize.
Yep.
I forgive you.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad. Oh boy. So what have you guys been playing, Mark?
I've been playing Dishonored: The Knife of Dunwall. It's DLC for Dishonored. I had to play it because I saw a tweet about Dishonored 2 coming out. I think 2015. It's fantastic, just as good as the original game.
That's it.
That's it.
It's
Oh.
it.
That's it.
Oh boy.
Unbelievable.
Okay, I'm gonna make Mark look a little bad here. I
Yeah,
apologize.
me too.
Okay, my laundry list. Played and beat Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi. Played and beat Deadpool. Beat Final Fantasy VI finally. Saw the ending and the music, and it was just beautiful. Teared up. Playing The Darkness on the Xbox. Also playing. JJ and I are geeking out on some Battle for Z co-op mode.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Getting frustrated along the way.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but also it's just such a ode to Dragon
Now
Ball Z
I'm
fans.
really mad.
Oh man.
Oh.
What else? Playing Fez on the Vita. Playing the original Zelda on my 3DS.
Are you going to start a Zelda journey?
I mean, I've
play
technically
through all the-
I've been on that journey all my life, and I'm almost done with it. So I mean, like, I just got to beat Skyward Sword, and I think a Zelda 1 and Skyward Sword would be the last, and then a couple of the like Minish Cap and
I
all
think
that
you
stuff.
start from the beginning again.
No.
And play through all of them,
No, because I've played
like
them
you're
multiple
going to
times.
with Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but I'm getting closer, huh? I just marked 6 off my list. What?
Let's see. So he started his journey on
Hashtag
one episode.
continuing the journey.
One.
On episode 1, he started the journey.
We're episode 40, and he's 3 games in.
Excuse me, this is Poindexter. I'd like to point out that we are actually on episode 42. You had
Thank you.
previously said 40.
So you're right. It's been even longer.
Yes. So
You got me.
Anyway, that's what I've been playing.
Solid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I beat Tales of Vesperia finally. I also afterwards decided to go for a lighter game, so I played Child of Light.
Ooh,
Nice.
fun.
Amazing. Can't recommend it enough. Absolutely fantastic. It's one of those games where, and I told this to you guys on Facebook, but like, you know how when you're a kid and you hear a fairy tale for the first time and you're like, oh man, that's so cool, like magic and blah, blah, blah. As an adult, you play Child of Light and you get that same feeling after finishing it. Like, it was just awesome. It really was. The art style, the direction, everything like that. The writing is good. The rhyming is a little bit like, not that it's off. It's just a little like, what? All right, yes, that rhymes, but come on. So,
You know, the saying is, if it rhymes, it's true.
there you go. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Fantastic game, though. I really cannot recommend it enough. And it's short. It took me like 8 or 9 hours to beat. I also, like Brian said, I've been playing Battle for Z. and I started playing Suikoden 2 again to kind of give myself a refresher. And man, that's such a great game. It really, really is. So, yep, that's it for me.
I also played a little bit of Trine 2.
Didn't you play a little bit of Tales of Vesperia?
Yes.
For like
but
10
I have
minutes?
not had access to the TV
Why not?
because my fiance has been playing Zelda Majora's Mask.
Oh, nice. She's loving it, isn't she?
I've been telling her that she needs to write a side quest to call JJ out for his
Yes.
Disapproval.
Shanna, do it. Do it. It's a great game. I know it is.
and to call you out for your weird stages of grief metaphor.
No, it's real.
It's not his. It's
not
like
mine.
a common belief about it.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that.
It's a tinfoil hat theory.
A lot of people think that.
Go online on the internets and read it.
Brian, I got you
Okay.
on this one. I got you. All right. As always, if you want to contact us, and if you want to send a side quest like Mark just suggested that his fiance do, Shanna, you're more than welcome to do that. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're wrong.
Wow.
Man, I think she has to now.
Honestly, the game is good. It's a solid game. It's just the stupid 3-day timer thing that I don't like. That's it. That's the only thing that is so off-putting. I hate timers in games. So
I can agree with
I hate
that.
having to reset. I loved everything else about it. I've never said it was a bad game. I just hate this stupid timer. That's all.
Yeah.
So, email us at frozennorthpodcast@gmail.com. Check out our website at fngaming.net, facebook.com/thefrozennorth. We have a Twitter at FN Podcast. Our blog is frozennorthpodcast.blogspot.com. Please subscribe to and rate us on iTunes. And just tell us what you think. Let us know if you like us. If you don't like us, we don't care. Just one or the other. Give us some feedback. We appreciate it.
But mainly say that you do like us.
That would be preferable.
Actually, we're still waiting on Brian Hate
Guys,
Mail.
at this point, it's episode 42. Everybody loves me. We all know that.
We
Everybody,
haven't got, but we haven't gotten into Brian Love.
okay,
Mail yet.
everybody,
So-
everybody just is tolerant of me.
Okay,
That's fine. I can go
Matt
with
Hate
that.
Mail would also be acceptable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Nice.
So, Brian, what do you got for news?
All right, guys. Some pretty decent sized news came out, not in quantity but in quality.
How big was the news?
It was like the size of a small planet.
Did you just like bend into a Russian accent right
A
there?
little bit. I don't know why.
How big was the news? It was size a small planet.
Small planet. Anyway, speaking of size, segue, Bungie is surprised by criticism of people playing the beta that it is, in quotations, too small.
That what is too small?
The game.
This
What
was your
game? You
your
haven't
big
seen the
news?
game.
Bungie criticism that Destiny
There you go.
is too small. When the Destiny beta went live last month, some fans immediately criticized Bungie over the fact that every planet will only have one location to explore. So there are going to be multiple planets, but it's not going to be like, come to Earth, go visit different countries. It's literally going to be like, here's the spot you're going to explore. I mean, I can see their argument that it does seem kind of like, why don't you just keep it on one planet and have multiple locations? But it's the same thing. And Bungie has come back and said, like, that's weird to me because it's the biggest game I've ever made. So there's this big outcry right now that the game may actually be too small. And if you think about it, they might have some validity to that claim because I think this game's going to be wildly popular when it launches. So, make it overcrowded. I don't know. I haven't played the beta.
No, I
so.
don't think so. I think there's got to be some sort of instancing going
Well,
on.
I'm sure there's
so I'm
gonna be
sure there's no
servers and-
problem with that.
But yeah, I was surprised to see that people were saying it was too small. They touted it as being a very massive game. So we'll just have to wait and see. Next story. This one is actually my personal favorite story. There is a story-driven PC real-time strategy game, Ancient Space, that's been announced. It's voiced by some very well-known Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica actors. We'll get to that list here in a second. But Hearts of Iron and Magicka publisher Paradox Interactive announced Ancient Space, an upcoming story-driven real-time strategy game launching this fall on PC and Mac. Developed by Creative Forge Games, Ancient Space is a single-player game where you'll play as a commander of a space fleet. That's really cool that they're focusing an RTS primarily on single-player. I'm sure, JJ, you've played StarCraft, and I love the story in StarCraft, but
Oh, yeah.
imagine if Blizzard could put all of their time into just crafting a story for that game, and that's kind of what this game's going to be about. It's literally a story-based RTS game. Thought that was really, really cool. Some of the actors lending their voice talents are John Billingsley of Star Trek Enterprise and also True Blood. We've got Aaron Douglas of Battlestar Galactica. Ron Glass from Firefly is going to be voicing. Richard Gunn from Dark Angel. Dina Meyer from Starship Troopers and Star Trek Nemesis and also the Saw movie. And then Dwight Schultz, which is from Star Trek Next Generation and Star Trek Voyager, is also going to be voicing. There are more, but those are kind of the bullet points. What do you guys think? It's interesting, huh?
No, I don't remember who they played in those shows.
The ones I know, Dina Meyer, she played...
She was in 24, right?
No.
I don't think so.
That was Nina Meyer's joke. That
Oh.
was almost a joke.
Wow.
All of you people who watch 24.
I was like, what are you talking about? No, she played... I think
Mark.
she played Diz in Starship Troopers, if I can remember correctly.
I believe so.
Yeah. But anyway, pretty cool that they're going to do an RTS that's not actually an online-based strategy game. It's going to actually be quite literally...
JJ's shaking his head at me,
Yeah.
but I fully believe that there's one person listening who's going to get the joke and not laugh.
They're probably going to shake their head at you, too.
Oh, boy.
If they do, then I've done my job.
Okay, and then here's another bombshell. Actually, my brother and I discussed this at a bit of length about the bombshell that Tomb Raider is going to be a timed exclusive for Xbox. I don't know, man. That just seems like a bummer. I don't know about you guys.
Xbox paid the money.
I know they did, but Kyle made a really good argument to me that people should never celebrate exclusivity because you're basically detracting from other people enjoying that, because maybe, if you have a PS4,
I agree.
you're not going to be able to play it unless you buy an Xbox One. I know that's Microsoft's strategy, but man, I mean,
I think Sony does this too, but they will pay for a full exclusive that's never going to come to another console.
What Sony does is they buy it exclusively from development to end. What Xbox did was just swoop in during development of Tomb Raider and say, "Here, we're going to pay you a shitload of money."
There's a big difference between, and I'm not saying Sony hasn't done this in
Right.
the past. I'm sure there's examples where they have. This is not a knock on Xbox. This is just a knock on the way things are done.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between taking a series that nobody knows anything about,
Right.
making it
Definitely,
exclusive right off the bat, and taking a series that was released on both platforms, started on one of them.
Yeah, that's
That's a good point.
And,
That's a good point.
and being like, you know what, you guys, we realize you've been loyal to us just as much as these guys here, but you're going to have to wait.
exactly.
It's
and,
like, what?
And the news is that though it's a timed exclusive, they really haven't announced it coming out for anything else. So it could very well be Xbox only.
Yeah, that's how it always is with all the Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
games, though.
Yeah,
well,
that's
in the past, where they'll just be completely silent about it, but then it will eventually show up on.
But JJ brought up the same point Kyle did, is that it's a property that was already multi-plat.
Yeah.
And then
No, I agree
Right.
with that argument
Yeah.
that it's not a new game. It's something that people are already fans of.
Yeah.
They've been playing through it. They're excited for the next one, and all of a sudden,
Right.
Yeah, and I this is not, again, not a knock on either side, and it's
No.
definitely not a knock on exclusives. I think
Uh-uh.
exclusives are great for systems, and it helps competition. But again, taking an existing franchise that was available on both systems, you're basically alienating half your fan
Yeah.
base.
You're like, well, you can't enjoy it, but you can't.
I'd put that more on Ubisoft than Microsoft, though,
It-
because they're the ones who have gathered the fans and then sold their brand for money.
That's true. But anyway, I mean, we'll see. Time will tell if it will be released on other platforms. But I thought that was kind of a bummer. Kyle brought up a lot of good points about it being like, hey,
Yeah.
people that love that game can't play it now unless they buy an Xbox One, and he doesn't see people buying an Xbox One for it. So, but Microsoft shelled out the money, so good ups to them.
Good ups to them.
Yep.
Now, here is something for you completionists here. Dragon Age Inquisition will take 150 hours for a completionist playthrough.
I believe it.
Wow. During EA's press briefing this morning on the first day of Gamescom, BioWare's Aaron Flynn shared some new details about Dragon Age Inquisition. One of the most common questions in RPG games is how long the quest will take you. Well, you might want to set aside some time for this fall's Dragon Age title. Flynn says that the game includes 1 million words of dialogue that weaves a number of different stories that will impact the Inquisition's quest to save Thedas. Pretty damn cool.
I thought you didn't like all that extra dialogue and stuff.
I don't, and I will not be playing it
But
for
it's
over
pretty cool.
150 hours. Yeah.
Wait,
That argument we had off the air that the listeners
You knew
don't
I was
know
just
about.
doing that to get at you.
While I'm interrupting, I'm going to interrupt again and say Ubisoft isn't the publisher of Tomb
I was
Raider.
going to say I didn't
It's
think
Square
so.
Enix.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did preface that this is for completionists. If you're a completionist, this is going to get you. I'm not going to play 150 hours of it. There's no way. I'm going to play. I'm the guy who does a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then beats the game. You know what I mean?
Nope.
No. Okay. Anyway, 150 hours approximately, obviously, for a completionist playthrough. So wow,
Yeah, that's a lot.
that's it's quite a lot of next gen awesomeness. And then now my favorite piece of news. This is actually a little bit older, so a lot of you have already probably played through it. But a few weeks ago, there was a game that popped up on PlayStation Network called PT, and people that didn't say anything. They were wondering what it was. They started playing it. It's a Loop interactive. They call it an interactive teaser. People did not know what it was until basically they got to the end, when it showed a teaser of what is going to be the next-gen Silent Hill game. Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro are teaming up for a new Silent Hill game, and it is going to star my personal favorite character in Walking Dead, Daryl Norman Reedus.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
That's the character
Is
at the end of the
is
game.
it starring the character
Yeah,
from
it's
Walking Dead?
It's literally him in the game. He turns around.
What?
Yeah, he turns around, and it's Daryl.
It's literally the actor, or
Yes.
it's literally the character?
It's literally the actor.
Okay.
Oh, the actor Norman
Okay.
Reedus. I said he's my favorite character in Walking Dead. His name's
confused me.
Norman
I think,
Reedus.
yeah, I think Mark was.
Yeah,
was
Daryl's
thinking-
in the
it's like,
game.
Daryl is in the game.
Daryl walked through a dimensional time portal into
Crossover.
Silent Hill.
I mean, I'd play it.
His nightmare only got worse.
I would play it too.
But I did watch a few of the demos of PT, and it is terrifying.
Yeah, I played through most of it. I should have said that when we said what we played. But I didn't count because I wasn't really holding the controller because it's too scary. But I watched a friend,
Wow.
Shanna, was
and
it Shanna? Did Shanna play
she
it?
played half
Yeah.
of it. I watched the playthrough. We almost got to the end, but there's a few parts that are a little bit janky where you just don't understand what you're
There's
supposed to do.
very
But-
weird puzzles in that.
Yeah, but it was terrifying.
I've
Really
heard that.
well
I've
done.
heard that.
I think part of the terrification of it was the fact that it was. I mean, it's gorgeous. Like
Yes.
it. Woo!
It's
I was
aw-
watching it on YouTube in 1080p, and I was like, "This is whoa."
I hate to say this because people always say this and they're always wrong, but it looked photorealistic.
Correct.
I think a lot of that was due to the lighting, though. So maybe if it was
Yeah. Well,
fully well lit, it wouldn't look as good.
right. It was. Woo. But I watched a couple people play it and saw some reactions, and it was.
I'm scared to look at the demo. To be honest with you,
There-
everybody
the-
keeps telling me how terrifying it is.
Oh man, you're just like, oh, okay. I don't want to go any further. But so that is your news. JJ editing will not like this part, so have fun on that one. Woo!
We're good.
Good
We're
news.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Next on the docket here, we hit 100 Twitter followers,
That's right.
so we got a contest going
I
on.
think we got like 110 or something.
Something like that. 112
Well, maybe.
Something
It
like
might have
that.
gone down, probably.
probably. So basically, this contest is going to be, all you have to do is you have to go to our Twitter page, respond to a comment that Mark's going to post on there. We'll make it generic, just like respond here for contest entry, blah blah blah, whatever, something like that. You'll know when you see it on there. So just keep a close eye on our Twitter. The winner will basically be chosen at random from the people who entered. And that winner will then get to pick any game from any system that they choose. It's got to be $40 or less and easily accessible. And the game has to have an end. What do you mean by that, JJ? What does that matter?
What do you mean?
That's
Can't pick SimCity.
exactly. So basically what it's going to be is we are going to buy you a copy of that game. If it's one you already own and you want to do it for this, that's fine too. That'll just save us some money. But if you want us to buy you a new game, it's an easy way to get a new one. Basically, we're going to buy you a copy of that game, and then we're all going to get it as well, provided we don't already have it. Again, it has to be easy for us to access, easy for us to get, and it has to be something that's doable and playable.
Yeah, you
and
can't say
beatable.
you got to go shopping at pawn shops for a month to find it. Like we're not going to do that.
Correct. So then we will basically set a period of time. It'll be maybe a month or 2 weeks or whatever, depending on the game and how long it takes to beat when we look at average playthrough times and that kind of stuff. And if any of us does not, we'll also review the game on the show eventually. But if any of us does not complete that game in that allotted time, they will be required to put on a dress, have their picture taken, and it will be on the front page of the website.
Noise.
Looking at you, Brian.
Noise.
Mark, you're scared to death about
Mark
this.
is-
Oh, of course I
Mark
am.
is petrified.
But the fear of shame will make me finish the game.
So if you want a game and you want to see Mark in a dress,
Yeah.
Whoa! That's not going to happen.
maybe I shouldn't advertise it like that. I don't know too many people that want to see you in a dress. So if you would like a game that's $40 or less on any system of your choice, basically we would get it off Amazon or something like that and mail it to you. Or if you want a Steam game, we could do that too. Like I said, it has to be easily accessible. But we'll work with you and we'll talk to you and that kind of stuff. So all you have to do is just respond to that Twitter post that Mark puts up there. Look for it within the next week or so, and we'll be good to go.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Nope.
No.
I'm not cool with it.
Well, you don't.
Please
have a
pick
choice.
a game I've already beaten. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Pick Dishonored.
Pick Saints Row. It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
got fun aspects to it.
All right. So we're going to be doing our top 5 here in a few minutes. But first, we're going to head over to Raul with a quick side quest.
To many of us, the sound is all too familiar. That is me placing my copy of Final Fantasy VI into my Super Nintendo. It has been 20 years since the game was released. It was released in Japan on April 1994 and in the States on October 1994. Yesterday, I went through my SNES collection and found the cartridge with a single Mugo on it. Luckily, my Super was already connected to my HD TV. As many gamers from the 90s know, before you put any cartridge in your Super Nintendo, you have to do one of these. And so I did. I put the game into my Super, turned on the power, and it didn't work. This was my situation for about 10 minutes. Realizing that I needed to open it up and clean the pins, I did just that. After, I did one more of these, put the cartridge back into the Super Nintendo, and after a couple resets, the classic screen with the lightning clouds appeared. It reminded me of everything that I loved about this game. Whether it was the unique way the story is told from multiple perspectives, or the masterful soundtrack by Nobuo Uematsu. What makes the story great is that the development team wanted no one character to be the protagonist. Rather, they wanted all of the characters to be protagonists, and for each of the stories to be told episodically. Although the story can be cliche at times, it is a palpable one. There are scenes, such as the opera scene, which hits players like a ton of bricks. The story was also not afraid to approach taboo topics, such as suicide and mass murder. Yet it also showed the player the importance of friendship, family, unity, and how when we lose those things, the world falls apart. Perhaps the emotion I remember feeling the most in this game is anger. The cruel, uncaring, sociopath Kefka, with his now infamous laugh, spurred in players the need to pass the game to once and for all cease his reign of terror. What stands out the most though about this game is that it is a 20-year-old game. It is 1 year away from being able to legally drink in the States. It was not meant to be played on an HD TV, as 16-bit graphics should never be amplified. Originally, I played the game on a standard mid-90s television with an RF adapter for those who remember the RF adapter. Time has not been too kind to the game, but overlooking its age, you can see its lasting impact. It is a testament of how far not only the Final Fantasy series has come, but also how much the gaming industry has evolved. If I have one disconcerting thought, it is that many new gamers will probably never play Final Fantasy VI. The newer generation has the amazing Final Fantasy XIV, which I love, and the upcoming Final Fantasy XV, which I'm very, very eager to play. If you have not played this game yet, you can download it on the Wii Virtual Console, the PSN, or buy it for the GBA. If you have the money and skills to replace old SNES batteries, you can also play it how it was meant to be played. A cool little piece of trivia, the game was being developed alongside of Chrono Trigger, and if you have a keen eye and ear, you can catch multiple similarities between the two games. I leave you with this cool remix, and for the Frozen North, I am Raul Cruz.
And we're back.
Another excellent segment.
No joke.
Not to
man.
be confused with We're Back, the dinosaur movie.
I feel like you just killed all the energy of that segment.
Yep.
Nope.
Absolutely.
Who's seen that movie? Thank you,
Actually,
Brandon.
I have to. Yeah.
Is,
We're
that
back.
is it like a cartoon?
No, it's a movie. It's the movie's named We're Back.
So, anyways,
He has an excellent point, though, that younger generations are never going to play Final Fantasy VI.
well, not never, but I mean, it's unfortunate they
yeah.
won't get the same introduction to it that we did
True. That's yeah.
when it first came out. But I mean, I think if they're willing to give it a chance, like Brian did, they're in for a real treat.
They still have access to the game, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
feel
they
like,
just have to be
uh,
willing to actually pull the trigger on it, though.
Right.
Exactly. I don't think a lot of.
It's on mobile platforms now. That's a broader
Well,
audience.
let's not talk about that version.
Yeah. Let's
What's that?
just move on.
Did
from
they?
that.
Didn't they do their own sprites for that version?
Yeah, they don't look
did.
very good.
It's just really bad.
So they
really
they
buggy and
they
just bad.
Frankensteined it.
It's bad.
Ah.
Yeah. But if you like what Raul said and how it was presented, which we certainly do, which is why we asked him to keep doing side quests because he's doing a fantastic job with it. He actually has his own podcast that he does as well called Super Smart Gaming. They've got a handful of episodes out now. If you go to, I think they're on Podomatic and iTunes, just do a search for Super Smart Gaming and you'll find them right there.
If I'm kind of dumb and a gamer, will I enjoy this podcast?
Yes,
It'll make you smarter.
Because I
it'll make you smarter. Exactly.
cool.
So they're also on YouTube. They have a YouTube channel at Super Smart Gaming, and like I said, iTunes, Podomatic. We were on Podomatic a while ago. I think I put 2 episodes up on there, and then I realized they wanted to start charging us for more space, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
I'm good. So, yeah, definitely go give him a check out. And I've been listening to his episodes, and they're good stuff. It's him and a handful of his friends, and they got some good insight. And I really like the way they present their stuff. Like what they do is like how we just have our news section, go down the list, talk about each one bit by bit. They actually talk, like, they'll bring up each news segment at the beginning of the show and say, like, okay, so this is first, this is second, this is third, this is fourth. And then throughout the show, they will bring it up one by one from what they've already announced. So you know what you're getting into as you're listening to it. And I thought that was a
Nice.
really, really cool way to present it.
It's a very
So-
super smart way of presenting it.
It is.
Yeah.
It is super smart. So definitely go check them out. Super Smart Gaming for sure. Okay, top 5. We're doing our top 5 video game publishers this
Woo!
week. Absolutely.
Yes.
Brian, what's publisher?
A publisher is a company who develops the game.
A
Tell him what he does not win.
A publisher is a company who is responsible for the distribution and advertising of a game.
Basically, they publish the game, as their name would suggest.
Yep.
I wish I had a camera for Mark's face at that. Just like, yeah. I mean, he's not wrong. Slow clap. There it is. Yes, publishers, I mean, developers, obviously they're the ones that develop and put together the game, and publishers are the ones who are like, hey, well, give it to us. We will make sure people play it and buy it and
and they-
spend more money on it.
They're not mutually exclusive. There are
True.
many publisher developers out
Absolutely.
there. So-
Absolutely. I would say more often than
Yeah.
not there are.
Well, because they can control their own IP at that point.
Correct. So we have picked our top 5 individually, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Awesome.
Who wants to start us off? I will start us off.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Activision Blizzard.
A little low.
Boo.
Little
Low.
I mean, it's honestly not so much the Activision side. I like their stuff,
Blizzard.
but Blizzard. I mean, come on, man. You can't tell me that they don't care about their fans. They don't go above and beyond for their fan base and trying to make sure that these people enjoy the products that they have.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
And I'll talk about it later, but isn't it kind of funny that typically when you have a buyout or somebody buys you, you get absorbed, you're just under their label, but Blizzard was so, I don't know, creme de la creme that they were like, we'll hyphenate.
No, I mean that shows
That's-
class.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I think they respect what Activision has done in the past because Activision is not like a bad company by any
No.
means. They have done some incredible things, but just I mean, I can't say enough good things about Blizzard.
Right.
To be honest, they are just it's freaking Blizzard, man.
And it shows how powerful Blizzard is that Activision was like, yeah, attach your name to our name. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, please do.
They know how to market. They know they know how to listen to their fans.
Yeah.
And you'll hear a lot of people complain, but the fact that they have so many fans and you only see the ones that complain are that's proof that
It's the internet,
It's
aka
working.
complainers.
exactly. So, Blizzard, absolutely, hands down, number 5. Mark.
Solid. My number 5 is
A
Sony.
little low. Little bit low.
What?
A little low.
Computer entertainment. Let me tell you why Sony's so good.
Why, Mark?
Because they published Dark Cloud. Anybody? I know JJ remembers Dark Cloud.
I do.
I know you don't, Brian.
Not familiar, but I do know that you told me it's like a Zelda game in which you can build your own town.
Town.
Correct.
Yeah. Multiple towns.
That's cool.
And a really cool weapon evolution system. But yeah, that's just one game.
I
They
don't know
also
about really cool.
Well, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, but if you lose your weapon, it breaks and you lose it forever.
Ooh.
There's no way to recoup that.
A little risk makes the reward feel even better. Sony's
I like the game. It's
Sony's
good.
a really cool company because they spend a lot of money cultivating a strong
Yes.
first party lineup. Microsoft doesn't. I mean, they have a good lineup, but not nearly.
They
don't
don't.
spend nearly as much money and have nearly as many studios working.
They
on
don't.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Sony will support their studios. Microsoft
Exactly.
is purging their studios.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
They also make Infamous, Shadow of the Colossus, Ico, God of War, Jet Moto. That's a good one. Anybody? Jet Moto?
I mean, I know it. I
Yeah.
haven't played it.
I think I played it for like 5 minutes once, but
I don't see what them making these games has to do with
they
it.
didn't make them. Though.
Sorry,
They
published.
them. Yeah.
Published.
All right.
They published them. They also published Journey,
Yes.
PlanetSide, Last of Us, and Twisted Metal,
Uncharted.
and Uncharted. I haven't played it.
Oh my god.
I played the first one. I got really frustrated.
Oh my god.
It was frustrating.
So you're doing
That's why they're a good. That's why they're a good publisher.
because
Because
that's
they-
frustrating.
Because they publish good games.
Well, all right, makes sense for number 5. Good lord, Brian, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is the lovable, the incomparable Nintendo.
You're always lagging behind.
I think they made my list based on their past rogues gallery. They have not done much of late, which is unfortunate, which is probably why they've dropped so far in my list. But they have brought Zelda franchise, Star Fox franchise, Mario franchise, Yoshi, okay? They have a lot of very good IPs that they not only developed, but also published. So I have to give them a little bit of a nod, even though right now they are struggling greatly. So,
I wouldn't say they're struggling.
well, the 3DS is kicking some butt, and I do love mine, but
They're still bleeding money.
yes, exactly. They're hemorrhaging right now. They just need to go back to their roots. I think this is one of the few examples of, hey, just bring it on back to the chest and do what you do best. Don't try to be so innovative because it's not worked out very well for you in the past. So do what you've done before. Develop and publish some very good, maybe new IPs. Maybe bring back some of your old ones. Just they're always going to be...
Maybe bring back some of their old ones. I'm pretty sure
They
that's a
need
guarantee.
to. They need to pull a Metroid Prime with their other franchises.
Yes, reboot them. Just stop trying to innovate and just do what you do best. That's my message to Nintendo, and you'll rise on my list again. They almost fell off my list.
I don't agree with you.
I
think
agree
they
with
should
you.
continue to innovate, but they should stop focusing on gimmicks.
That's the problem. They don't know how to innovate. So until they learn how to innovate, they need to stop.
They think that gimmicks and
Are
being
innovation.
innovative
Right.
are one and the same.
Yeah, that is a problem.
Yeah.
Brian,
But-
I like your number 4
Yeah.
because it's also the same as my number 4.
Absolutely.
What is our number 4, Brian?
Another hyphenated company,
It is.
Bandai Namco.
Indeed.
Actually, didn't they just change to Namco Bandai now?
I thought they changed from Namco Bandai
That's
to
right.
Bandai Namco.
Bandai Namco now. They did this whole legal battle to where they flip-flop names.
Oh, man.
You know what's funny about this developer is I have played a lot of their games, but some of their more famous games, aren't they responsible for the Tales series?
Oh, yeah.
I've
That's a
never
big
played
reason they're on my list.
I've never played a single Tales game, and yet they're on my list. So look for them to climb. But they have brought a lot of childhood memories. Dragon Ball Z, for example, all those games. They did all kinds of Gundam games back in the day. Anytime I see Bandai Namco, or back then Namco Bandai, I don't know about you, but I always think this is going to be a quality game, or at least has a good chance to be a quality game. Or a game I just love.
like I said, the Tales series is probably the number one reason they are on this list. They have continually brought that out, and what they do with it. I mean, yeah, my collector's edition of Tales of Xillia 2 is sitting right behind you.
Yeah.
I mean, how big is that box?
I wanted to, remember when I came in, I wanted to lick it with my tongue.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
It's massive. I mean, the things that they do, the extras I mean, yeah, you have to pay for this stuff and everything like that, but the fact that they even do this extra stuff, you don't have to do that. But call me, greedy. I like stuff.
Yeah,
I do.
Who doesn't?
And Bandai Namco loves to give out stuff.
We live in a
So-
materialistic world in a
I
materialistic
do.
country. It's what's
They have bought my number 4 spot
America.
on my list.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I think that they are a company that, like you said, they like Dragon Ball Z, perfect example. They go with what they know has worked in the past,
Right.
and they stick with that towards the future. Tales series, I know they developed it too.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect example. If you play 2 Tales games, you'll be like, these are definitely Tales games, but they're different.
They don't fix what ain't broke.
Exactly. And I think as far as publishing goes, they're the same way. They treat their games the same way.
Right.
And they really haven't changed much over the years, which they don't need to.
And I know I'll probably get criticism because I know Dragon Ball Z games aren't a for everybody type of game, but I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, and the games they publish within that franchise are always very like fan servicey. So I appreciate them. They're very samey though, as you say. They don't really change the formula that often, but that they work. So why?
They just want a fun game.
Exactly.
And if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, you're going to have fun.
Absolutely.
Battle of Z.
Oh, yeah.
The game is terrible. It really is.
I don't even know if
It's bad.
did Bandai Namco publish that one as well. I didn't actually check. I know they do all the Dimps ones, but I don't know about.
I don't know, to be honest. I'll have to
We'll
look
have to
that up
look,
later.
yeah.
But, I mean, I'm just saying, it's because it's DBZ.
It's a
We
crappy
still are
game.
having a
No
great
one would
time
like
with
it if they didn't like DBZ games.
Yep.
But man, JJ, you and I are just having so much fun playing it.
We're just pushing one button the entire time, essentially. And that's it.
Why? Yep.
Yep. Why? That's so ridiculous. That's where the X button's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Freaking Xbox. All right, Mark, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Bethesda Softworks.
Hey, all right. Name all their IPs.
Hold on. First, I want to say this was a bit... I was kind of torn on whether I wanted to put this on my list or not, because their parent company, ZeniMax, I am not a fan of at all, especially the way they're going after Facebook and Oculus, trying
Yeah.
to sue them for work that John Carmack did allegedly on their time. However, Bethesda Softworks itself is a really good company, and I really appreciate that while they have all that ZeniMax money behind them and they could become like the next Ubisoft or EA, they are focusing on only acquiring a few studios and only publishing the very best games they can.
That's
So their list of games is a lot smaller than a lot of
I
other
feel like
publishers.
that's a mark of a good publisher that's thinking,
Exactly.
You know,
So their games are all of the Elder Scrolls games, all of the Fallout games after Fallout Tactics. That's when it switched hands. Also Dishonored, which is one of my favorite game series now.
That's a very good game.
You've got your Doom and your Wolfenstein, and they're working on a game called The Evil Within, which I don't know too much about. Another really good sign is they were working on a game called Prey 2, the sequel to Prey, obviously, but they didn't feel like the quality was there, so they got rid of their release date and they put it on the back burner.
That's a classic. That's a Blizzard move.
Yep.
And so, I hold Blizzard in the highest regard. So I feel like when a company's like, "Hey, this game's just crap. We're not going to come out with it," it's saying we don't want to tarnish our name by releasing a game that's less than what we
Exactly.
think is,
So
a la Ghosts.
they are incredible in my book.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3 is Sony. There's not much more I can add to what Mark already said about them. I mean, it's freaking Sony.
Yeah.
You know, they really. I don't even have Microsoft on my list. You guys do, but I feel like Sony. I'm trying to say this without sounding like a total fanboy. I really think Sony cares about their players more than Microsoft does. Like, I mean, point blank, I do. I feel like the things that they do for their system, and I mean, just watching the Xbox One and the PS4, the battle between the two, it's literally been, if you look at it from the open gate, Sony was miles ahead because they were doing things that were catering to their fans, while Xbox was like, we're going to put a bunch of new stuff in here that our gamers, who are our core fans, don't even really necessarily care about.
Can
I
I,
think
can I posture a reason why I think that is? Why Microsoft and
I think
Sony
it might
have,
be the same reason I have. Go ahead.
if you look at the company's makeup as a whole, Sony is an entertainment company.
Yes.
So
They even sold off their computer
yeah,
department.
Sony from the
Sure.
get-go has always been about the entertaining the person, right? Microsoft is a software company, so their primary goal is to create really good software, and they're not necessarily as savvy at presenting entertainment as well as Sony. Was that what you were going to say, Mark? It's
Exactly,
just the companies
yeah.
as a whole. So I feel like that's where you might be absolutely right. I think Microsoft cares about the consumer.
I'm not saying they don't.
Well, but I think that Sony's a company that's basically built from the beginning to know how to do that, to cater to entertainment crowds.
I see.
Microsoft's still learning that side of it. They just went through
Definitely.
a big bout of missteps in that regards recently. That's something that Sony's probably gone through back in 94, 95. You know what I mean? Where they were starting up.
Sure.
So I mean, so that's why I'm saying I agree with you. But I think there's a reason for that. It's the overall company makeup.
That makes perfect sense.
Mark,
Absolutely.
high five for thinking alike.
High five.
No, I completely. That makes perfect sense. That validates it absolutely. But at the same time,
Doesn't make any less true.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's Sony has done exactly what I would like to see out of a publisher.
Absolutely.
You know, they give me games that cater to gamers. They give me features that cater to gamers, and I am a gamer.
Yep.
So I am entertained by a company that is putting out
Exactly.
things that want to be entertaining.
Right.
So that's my number 3, Sony.
Very
you guys have the same number 3.
Yeah. Well,
Hey.
It's actually Microsoft.
Flip side of the
Segue.
coin.
Yeah.
Yep.
This will segue perfectly into what I was going to say is, look, Microsoft is on my list because they are making an effort. Like,
Yes.
it's not that they aren't trying. I think that, like I said, the issue that they are having is they are a software company first, branching out into the entertainment industry and battling against a company who is literally an entertainment company. That's what they do. So what they're finding is that Microsoft's like, we're going to come out with Windows, you're going to use it. We're going to put, here's what it is, or here's this sweet, decompression software that not a lot of people, but with entertainment, you got to be real careful about just shoving stuff down people's throats.
Yep.
A la the Kinect backlash, where they were like, but a sign of a company that's listening to their consumers is
You're absolutely. I think it's also important to point out that Microsoft is more of an enterprise company
Yes.
than a consumer company.
100%.
Which is another step of where the problem comes
yes, they want to make money.
in.
And-
They deal with large businesses. That's
Yeah.
where most of their money comes from.
Mhm.
So they're not as savvy at dealing with individual
Well,
customers.
And what made Microsoft make my list was if they would have stayed the course with this whole you have to buy a Kinect with the Xbox One, we're not giving you any choice. That's a Microsoft staple. They've been doing that for years with their software.
True.
And now they're in the entertainment industry, and they kind of got hit with like, oh my god, we can't do that. Like that doesn't work in this side of the business.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? They were like, you know what? They ate some crow, and they were like, you guys are right. We're going to give you the option,
Yes.
and we're going to package it separately so that you can choose whether or not you want to buy it or not. So, they have great IPs. Halo is one of my favorite series.
Fable,
Fable,
Gears of War.
you know what I mean?
You don't like Fable?
Not as much.
I like Fable.
But that said, I know.
See, I knew there was one.
But that said, I knew that there's a lot of love for the Fable series, and Microsoft's on my list because they are learning, they are getting better, and I think that their focus on the consumer is starting to shift a little bit to, okay, now we've got to actually act like an entertainment company. Well, I was sad to hear that they did can their TV studio, because I thought that was a pretty cool idea to add some flavor to like the Halo universe or the Gears of War universe, but they're trying to really focus in on game publishing and
Yeah.
But they're
some-
still going to be coming out with the stuff that was made.
Yes,
So,
I think the Halo.
That's a good sign, too.
Right, the Halo 5 prequel series is still coming out and all that stuff. So that's good. And Microsoft, I mean, gosh, they're making steps. I like it.
It's a good point. It's a very good point.
Yeah. A few other IPs. Asheron's Call.
Oh.
Huh? Silence.
Yeah.
Asheron's Call, Lost Odyssey, Shadow Complex, Alan Wake, even the first Mass Effect. You might have forgotten, but they published
Yes,
the
they
first
did.
Mass Effect.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that
And Jade Empire.
Jade Empire. Yep. They're not bad by any means. They're learning. They're learning. We're
And-
seeing growing pains.
Exactly. And on the flip side of the kind of jerk move they pulled with Tomb Raider, on the flip side of that, Sunset Overdrive
Yes.
is coming out on the Xbox One because they said to what's the studio that makes it? We need if we
It's
have
not
Matt
Sucker
here.
Punch because that's the one who does.
Insomniac.
Insomniac. Insomniac's publishing that.
They said to Insomniac, we will have a publishing deal with you where we don't retain the rights to your IP. You can keep the rights. Whereas Sony was saying, if you make it on our console, we'll publish it, but we have to own the IP.
Right. That's good. That's a good sign because Microsoft did that with Halo.
Exactly.
So
And hey, Microsoft let Bungie go.
yeah, they did.
Who does that?
Yeah.
Their biggest moneymaker,
Yep.
making them millions and millions of dollars, selling consoles, and they said, we're going to release you.
Yeah, and it's not.
That's crazy.
And you can't blame Microsoft for the acquisition of Tomb Raider exclusivity. It's not. They're making a business move.
Yeah.
It's not to hurt the consumers. It's to help them. The game is still available to play. You just have to play it on their system. So I can't really.
Well, no, it's not to hurt the consumers, but it does.
But that's right. but that's not. They're not going to be like, well, we're going to make less money so that.
Right.
So you know, what I mean, they're out. Sony's the same way. They're a business. If Sony didn't make money on something, they wouldn't do it. That Sony just does it better. They just are better at entertainment IPs than Microsoft. So
And I don't want to defend Microsoft for
no.
what looks like a jerk move.
It's
to
a
the
jerk
consumer,
move,
but
but
I do
it's-
feel like they don't ever get any credit when
No.
they do something
Right.
that's kind of. Well, they don't do anything altruistic.
You
but
can't blame a business. Yeah, you
Nobody.
can't
A
blame
business
a
doesn't do anything
You
altruistic.
can't blame a business for making a business move. You can just blame the steps they take for that.
Absolutely.
You know. So Microsoft number 3. You're doing well. Keep up the work. Keep thinking about the consumer.
Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.
Absolutely. You know what? I honestly, they would probably be my number 6, just because of exactly what you said, that they are making incredible strides
Yep.
as of late. So,
Yep.
good stuff. My number 2, Working Designs, not a company that's around anymore. They did. They brought over the Lunar games, a lot of JRPGs and a lot of anime focused looking games that you can find by them. What really hits me though is when they brought him out over here. I mean, the localization's really good. The voice acting that they get is really well done. Everything's very, very professional, in my opinion, at least. And like, shoot, I've got so many like collector's boxes
Packaging is amazing.
that they give with all their stuff, and I would assume this probably has maybe something to do with why they went out of business, because they were throwing so much money into the marketing aspect and everything like that. And it's unfortunate because they really did a great job with the things, and they always put like a making of CD in there as well that you could watch, and it was just really cool to see how much they actually cared about the products that they were releasing to the public and putting out there.
Arc the Lad too, correct?
I do believe so. Yes. So it's the Working Designs. I will always like them. They're not, obviously, like I said, not around anymore, but they've just left a positive mark.
My brother Kyle's a really big fan of Working Designs games.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, we went out and he was looking
bought
at that one. He almost got that one.
He says to me, anytime he sees Working Designs as the publisher, it's almost must buy.
Almost must buy.
Yeah, almost must buy.
He said he's working on a collection, right?
Yeah.
Of Working Designs. Cool. Yeah, that'll be a lot of shelf space, I would imagine.
Yeah, yeah. Because the boxes are huge.
Yeah, no joke. But they got some cool stuff in
Yeah.
there. So Working Designs, my number 2. Mark.
Excellent.
My number 2 is Take-Two Interactive.
Nice choice.
Why did I put this on my list instead of Activision or EA or
Why?
Ubisoft?
Mark, why?
I'll tell you why. Look at their tentpole games. EA's tentpole games, you've got your
Madden.
Mass Effect, but then the other tentpoles are like Madden and Battlefield.
Yep.
Same thing with Activision. You've got some games, and then you've got Call of Duty.
Really?
You've got your World of
You couldn't-
Warcraft. World of
Now,
Warcraft.
I can't count World of Warcraft because they came into that game. I'm talking about games that Activision
Yeah,
actually.
World of Warcraft was all Blizzard.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
but they're. I mean,
But with Take-Two, they're actually very much like Activision because
absolutely.
they have Rockstar, which is like almost half of their whole company.
Yeah.
Same with Blizzard.
Yep.
Their tentpoles are Grand Theft Auto, BioShock, and Borderlands.
Rogue's Gallery of Awesome.
Yeah, that's incredible. Other games I'm a huge fan of that they make are or publish and make and
Right.
publish are XCOM, Max Payne,
Yep.
LA Noire, Civilization, and Red Dead Redemption. Incredible.
That's very good publishing.
Yep.
They pick the
That's
right.
a very good
They
publishing.
pick the right to publishing.
To me, they're the big publisher that I don't hate.
Yeah.
And that's saying something because once you get that big, it's really hard to stay in gamers' good graces.
Right.
All right. Brian, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Sony. We kind of went over all the reasons. JJ nailed it on the head. Sony knows how to talk to consumers of entertainment better than most companies because they've been around for a very long time. They've honed their craft. They know the importance of gathering a lot of studios to produce very, very insanely high-quality first-party games. We're talking the God of War series. We're talking Last of Us, Uncharted. All these games are critically acclaimed, just beast mode IPs.
Beast Mode IPs.
Beast mode IPs. So I won't drag on too long because we've already discussed Microsoft and Sony, but Sony will always be up there. I think they're always going to they've made missteps. Obviously, companies always do, but
Yep.
Sony's been around a lot longer than maybe other than like Nintendo, but they've been a entertainment company as long. So
here's my question. Like, okay, so this is just flew into my head.
Go ahead.
So you've got Sony who's been around for a while doing their thing, and like you said, they know what they're doing. They've been around the block. They've made their mistakes. Now they're at the point where they're doing things that are great and all that stuff. So they're in their heyday.
Yep.
Makers is at that point where they're starting out. They're trying
making their
to
mistakes.
making their mistakes and everything like that. Now, initially, my first thought was, well, that makes me really excited for Microsoft future.
Yeah.
That I'm stoked once they get all the crap behind them, and they just have a wide open field in front of them. They're rushing through it. Nintendo's been around longer than both of them. What's going to happen?
Nintendo is in that phase where, and like Mark said, they think that innovation is coming out with gimmicks, and they stop it. Like, it's not innovation just to come out with like a sweet gimmick. You know what I mean? Like, innovation is something that's like revolutionary, that everybody wants to own. Not everybody wanted motion controls. Not everybody wants a 2-screen touch screen. It's like you gotta think way farther outside the box to innovate.
However, the Wii sold more than any of the other two consoles.
To date, or at launch.
I think to date.
But that's because
Not the
it's
Wii
sold
U,
a
not the
crazy
Wii U.
amount.
But the
Yeah.
Wii.
The regular Wii.
Right.
And that was motion controls. That was innovative when they
Right.
first came out with it.
But I think a lot
That
of
was like a fever dream, though.
I think a
People
lot of
were
that
like,
had-
"Oh my god, this is
Yeah.
innovative."
Oh, yeah, and then they just played
And
Wii
then-
bowling, and that was it.
Exactly.
No, I agree.
And it was a much cheaper alternative to buying the Xbox 360 or the PS3. So you think all the families that with kids are like, well, let's just get a Wii. It's $200.
Yep.
So, but
And
you're
the
right.
kids said, no.
But anyway, so yeah, you're right though. It's kind of funny that Nintendo's always been a video game company, as where Sony is a conglomerate entertainment company. So they're in movies, they're in hardware, they're in they have their little fingers in all kinds of aspects of the entertainment industry, so they can
Yeah.
learn from all that. Nintendo's a focused video game company. That's what they do.
Either way, it's exciting to think about what the future will hold for all of them.
I agree. I hope Microsoft does not go the way of Sega, however.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think they've got a huge fan base, and I
Agreed.
think, like you said, they're making strides to go in the right direction. I think they've got a good future.
Yep.
So
I hope so. Come on, Halo.
All right, number ones. My number one might be a surprise.
I'm actually surprised by this.
Ubisoft.
I want to know why.
I'm honestly like they are not really. I mean, I like their games; they're cool, but they're not my favorites in the world. I like Far Cry series, I like Assassin's Creed, that kind of stuff. But honestly, it's the way that they have presented themselves at every conference I've seen on What
Is it because they're French?
they're yes.
Okay.
That's it. Well, you just took my answer, so I'm done.
Got it.
All
Got it.
Mark, what's your number? No, no. But I mean, they literally like. Just by watching them and the way that they react to everything and the way that they treat everything, it seems like they genuinely care about the products and about the gamers. Perfect example, on Twitch, they have several channels that they sponsor and that they run on there. I almost never see a Ubisoft game being played on those channels because they just want people to play games. Yeah, they want you to come and watch their channel because it's their channel.
Right.
But I mean,
But they're not making the gamers play their
I'm
games.
sitting here watching a Ubisoft channel and the person's playing Final Fantasy X.
Right.
It's like, wait a minute, that doesn't. But it's and their whole thing is, well, they're playing a video game. That's what we do. We do video games, and
Yep.
if you're having fun, who cares what you're doing? You
Yeah.
know, that kind of attitude is what I think represents the mark of a fantastic publisher, because I know that they're going to take care of those titles that I care about.
Right.
So, and that's what it comes down to.
Yep.
Good pick.
Not good enough for you guys' lists.
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
they're
Uh-oh.
My number one.
Honestly, this one was on my list, and then I booted it when I thought of Blizzard.
Solid. But I'm going to... Brian told me why he didn't have it on his list before we started recording. I'm going to convince him otherwise.
okay. Go.
What did we say a publisher was? What did I say a publisher was?
A company that
Someone-
advertises
Someone
and
who
also markets.
someone who advertises and distributes the game.
Correct.
And while Valve might not be legally on paper a publisher for any games other than their own,
Steam.
Steam has made hundreds, probably thousands of indie games possible that would have never happened in the past.
Absolutely.
They put them on their front page, they do deals, they advertise them, and they distribute them to the customer. On top of that, they publish their own games, which I can't think of a single one that I didn't like, other than Dota, because I'm not into that
Ricochet?
stuff. Ricochet was... all right. It was, all right.
Oh, okay. All right, there it is.
Ricochet wasn't good, but every other game they've made...
Opera. I'm throwing out some old school titles here. That's right. I used to play Counter-Strike.
All right, but you get my point.
He's like waving me off. He's like, forget that.
They've published
Yes,
some
absolutely.
amazing first-party games, and they've made the indie gaming scene viable again.
Definitely. That was when I had them on my list initially. They were my number 5, and I was trying to think of reasons. And I mean, number one thing that came to my mind, like I said, Steam. Like
Yep.
that is a platform for so much that they have done for the gaming community.
Exactly.
Mark, I'll say you haven't convinced me, but you make a very good point. And I think Gabe Newell's Gabe Newell is what Nintendo wants to be. Gabe, he's innovating, or trying to, and he's actually
In the right direction.
correct. However, just I feel like they're focused on esports right now, and it's just because I'm not.
I think that your disappointment with Valve, the developer, is influencing your decision.
No, because they're
for Valve,
promoting
the
they're promoting
publisher.
esports, Dota, all that stuff, and it's just not something that I'm into. So, and it's not. They're still a great company.
But at the same time, we have Project Greenlight.
That's
Which is bringing
You're right.
in
No, you like I
incredible
said,
games.
you're right. You made a good point that they do allow a lot of indie games. They kind of led the way. Now Sony's following suit, where it's like, come publish on our awesome system and get your game out there. And but I don't know if you've been reading. Steam is having a lot of problems right now with.
Distributed denial of service attacks.
No. Yes. Correct.
TDS.
Yeah, they're getting a lot. I think they're past that, but they were fighting that off for a while. That's not really their fault, though. It's more just you can't really blame Sony for getting hacked. Can't really blame.
I can blame Sony for storing passwords unhashed.
Sure, but you can't blame them for being hacked.
True.
Anyway, you didn't convince me, but they moved from.
But he defended his point.
Yeah, he did, and I concede.
So wait,
I accept your apology.
we had two people who thought that Valve belonged on the list
Uh-huh.
in some fashion.
Valve's like number 6.
Now we have one more. 2 + 1.
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Done. We did it.
We did it, guys.
We did it.
Heard it here
Coming
first.
out.
Go, guys. All right.
Man,
Yes. All right. Brian, what's your number one?
Activision Blizzard. Only because
Well,
of
we'd like
Blizzard.
to thank you for joining it.
Only because of Blizzard. I've spoken on Blizzard before, so I'll keep this short. They are a company who says there are the publishers who say your release date is this date, and you do not move it. And the company and the developer will come to the company and say, "But we're not done." And the developer says, or the publisher says, "I don't give a crap. You're releasing your game." And then there are companies like Blizzard who are also a developer and publisher that say, "Hey guys, I know we said November this date was the release date, but we're going to push that back to next year because it's not ready." And then they get a lot of backlash, but they're like, "We don't want to bring you out a product that's not finished." And people get really mad at first, but when that game comes out, they're like, "Gosh, Blizzard production values are off the charts." It's because Blizzard is not greedy, and they're going to lose a little bit of money on the front end to make a ton of money on the back end by waiting to publish a game when it's completed.
And they're proud of their products.
I know, and they'll
Like
tell you
100%.
straight up, "We're not going to release it until it's done, so stop asking."
Yep.
You know?
That's the mark of a great publisher is when they, obviously they're doing it to make money.
Yeah.
But when they genuinely believe in what they're doing,
Oh, yeah.
which Blizzard 100% does.
Yes. Very passionate.
And that's why, the more I think about it, honestly, the more I think I should put them higher up on my list because they really, really do care.
And I remember when they merged with Activision, that was a big concern that Activision was going to make them release games, and they told Activision, "Nope, we will not touch a game to the public until it is done. So don't ask. It'll be released when it's done." I love that. I love that saying. We'll release it when it's finished.
Good to go.
Yep.
All right. So there's our top 5 video game publishers. Anybody got anything else?
My list was the best.
Okay.
My list was the best.
Nope.
You know what? Both of you guys' list was better than mine.
You're
See, now you feel bad,
No, your
don't you?
list was the best.
No, your list was the best.
Oh, yes. See that?
It's
Reverse
called reverse psychology.
Boom. All right, with that, this is the Frozen North signing off for episode number 42. My name is JJ.
My name is Mark. Aloha, y'all!
Aloha, y'all.
Means hi and bye.
Konnichiwa. My name is Brian.
Indeed. Thank you again, and as always, keep on gaming.
Our theme song was made available through the Creative Commons Attribution license by Ziphoid. The song title is Radical Fanfare. The song played at the conclusion of Raul's segment is YouTube user Dan Demand Productions' remix of Final Fantasy VI's The Decisive Battle.